Hey people, this is the Broken Puppet, back with another video for you today. This one is how to draw an old school pin-up. It's the old sailor type, the old Sailor Jerry kind of style. So it's not the realistic, it's the old school, it's the stylized. And I took you through line work, shading, colouring, yada yada, all the stuff you want to know. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, yada yada, let me know what you want. And I'll see you next time. Right people, how to draw an old school pin-up. It's going to be the old Sailor Jerry type, kind of like this. So you can see, you know, it's simple in design, but you know, it's stylized. You know, so it's not meant to be realistic. It's meant to really take just all the features and really kind of accentuate them in like just a couple of lines. You know, so yeah, here it goes. So when you're doing like the main body bit, you always want to have a bit of a curve. You know, you never want it to just be like a straight line. You know, it just never really kind of works that way. And that. So, I'm going to start off here. I'm going to do a head. And then just like an oval shape to begin with. And then just bring a line through it to work out your body shape. So obviously it's going to be like the chest, to the bum, to the legs. A bit darker so you can see it, and then you basically just want to make like a nice curve in there. So when you get the chest, you know, like, you know, nice little curve. When you get to the bum, nice, and curve it out. And now this kind of position is going to be kind of like a sit on the floor kind of thing. So I'm going to bring a second leg, just kind of curving here. And now for the measurements, you roughly want to make from the bum to the neck roughly around the same length as, like, you know, the bum to the thigh. And I like to make the bottom leg just a little bit longer. Not too much, just like a little, just a touch. And that. A little line here, just a little bit down from here, just to give away a difference between the neck and the head. And that. And from here, so I'm going to just bring a line curving out, like this, you know, to shape one arm. And this one I might just have kind of going like that as well. Actually, I'm going to make this one kind of come out the other way. So just kind of go hands behind the head sort of thing. And at the moment it's just like a bunch of scribbly lines, but it makes sense in a sec. And that, so from here, where you got this line coming across, bring the line kind of curving down here, and kind of join it up with this line down here, you know the curve of the body. And that, with this one, same again, but you want to kind of almost like straight almost. Now it looks a bit weird at the moment, but what you do is do that. And then you come down from that line and you bring it out to make the bum shape. And what this does is gives you a point you can use to make the hourglass curve on the body. Just draw some sausages around these lines, just like a big sausage shape on the arm. Sausage shape, big sausage shape for the leg. And going back. At the moment it looks like a bunch of scribbles, but I'll go in pen so you can sort of see it in more detail now. Just one other thing you want to mark out as well. Little line there, just joining that on the other side of the V shape. Circle there for the breasts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the face. And that, by doing this, I'm just going to bring up a curve through this head. And a curve across. Now the curve I put just a little bit higher than halfway, and I tend to like to do that at that angle. Just do two black circles. Get a bit of distance between them. Don't do them too close, otherwise you might look a bit boss-eyed. And that, then just bring a curve around the eye, just like that. Just basically kind of semi circle, and then curve it outwards. Do the same on the other side. Just flick that out. And do dot for the nose, dot for the nose. And that, these old school ones, like the Sailor Jerry, are just real simple, you know, there's not too much to them. The mouth, you want to bring up, little V shape in the middle, and curve back around. So see, just so you get a little bit of a smile. Little line underneath, just like that I do. Nothing too much, you know, like, you know, it's real simple with the detail. Now the eyebrows, they're literally just one bold line, just curving across. Just like that. You know, you can make them both the same. I like to do them a bit different, so it looks like she's putting a bit of an expression like this eye. It looks like she's up, and now she's kind of got the kind of squinty kind of look. And for the chin, just imagine where that line come down, just a little line down from the bottom of the lip. And you kind of want to V up from that. So make like a V kind of curve, just from that point below the mouth. And that from there, you literally just join that line around. Once you get there, you V-curve it up to the eye. See it to the eye, curve up again. So you're making a little dip just in the side bit where the eye goes. Now from here, I'm just going to bring in almost like a rectangular shape just on top of her head. A little swirl just to the side. And that's just going to be where her hair's going to curl at the top. And a little curve just to the side to show that bit of hair. Now on top of the head, I'm just going to bring a curve like that. Bring that line around. And I'm going to leave that like that for now. That's just going to be like the sailor's hat she's going to be wearing. And that. I keep saying and that again. God damn it. Little kind of line, dip in the middle, line just made like, you know, the neck piece. And now I'm just going to go with pencil just so you can see these lines, because with this style of clothing, you know, I can draw the outline of the body without having to worry too much about the clothes. You'll see why in a minute. So I'm literally just bringing up a bit of a darker outline, just getting a nice curve to the arm, and that, join that shoulder bit up, and that, and now I'm just going to put in the breast bit. Now the breast is like, this one's like a, just a little bit more than a semicircle, real simple shape. And then this one, you come off of that, and once you just get outside the body bit a little bit, you want to curve it up a bit. And how much you want to curve it is really up to you. And that these are not like, you know, realistic kind of breast shapes. It's just the way it's always done in these kind of old-fashioned pictures. I'm going to bring a line around that so you can see it clearly. Just bring that there. And just bring this arm around here. Just like that. Now the hand's going behind the head, so you're not going to see too much of the hand. I'm just going to do a little curve there, just where some more hair is going to go. Now with the body, curve that. And now, you know, you're not find that line exactly, you kind of curve it outwards a little bit into a point. And that again. God damn it. Right, so yeah. Bring this curve out around the bum. Bring it in to a point. Just like you see where that point was, where we made that curve. And then bring this curve outwards. Up. I'm going to have it kind of going into the hair, so it's going to just disappear. Here. I'll talk you through how to draw the hands in the other picture I've done. And then in a sec, I'll just do this one first. Just going to bring in a curve there. Second curve. Bring in a little ball shape coming around. Now real simple with the hair, don't go too complicated, just a couple of real simple curves is more than enough. Now you don't have to go too over the top. Just like that. You can bring in a little bit more around here if you want. You can just bring in a little curve like that, just so the hair looks like it's going around the back bit. From here, just bring this line up so it joins up there. And now the hourglass shape is always really exaggerated in these old-fashioned pictures, so don't be afraid to go really crazy with that. Bring in your thigh. And that one. Just going to bring a little line just there in the middle, just to show the separation bit. And now what I'm going to do is when I get here, I'm going to curve this. I'm going to curve it back a little bit so it bends. And I don't like the lead to go too straight. I'm just going to get a pencil, show you how to do a heel. Now you have the foot comes like that. Now this one's just going to be sitting back, you know, like the classic old way it's done. And you're going to create a triangular shape, but just with curved edges rather than straight lines. Just to make like a bit for the tip of the toe. And you're going to do the same kind of shape, just a bit bigger. And a bit higher up at the back. Then create a little curve, just joining them. And that. So, it goes there. Curve. Curve. And the other ways done hills, this is just a real simple way which you can't really go wrong. And then just draw your little hill on the back. Little line over the top. And you've got this classic old school kind of hill. Nothing too fancy, real basic. And now we've got that. That's the basic body shape. Now at the moment obviously she looks a bit naked, so we're going to put some clothes on her. Going to bring a line here. Another line. This one here. Another line. Line coming across the body a bit. So we've got the basic parts of the top going on now. What we're going to do here, I'm just going to bring in curve going up. Curve going up. So it's like a triangle shape, just curved around there. And I'm starting pretty much in the centre of the breast area. And do that again on the other side. So making like a little kind of shirt bit. Now this one's going to do black circle in the middle. A little kind of curve S shape just coming down. And then just do the exact same going back wide. Just create like a little kind of bow. And then a little line in the middle. Just flick flick. Real simple. Now around the waist, just going to bring in curve there. Curve there. Curve there. Just to show you some like little kind of hot pants going on. Now and that's the basic kind of outline. And like I said, not realistic, just kind of stylized. And that. Now one of the keys for the shading for this is not being afraid to go dark with your black. I recommend using either black like pens, like an actual black pencil rather than like a just normal shading pencil, and that, or water paints. And now the reason I say that is because a black pencil will only do like pure black, so it kind of forces you to have to go darker, which is what you need to get the right kind of look for these kind of designs. So I'm literally just blacking in all of the little corner areas and a little line just around the breast bits, just to make them, just show them off a little bit. And just a little bit around by the thigh, and just a little bit just in the corners. Nothing too much. I'm just going to grab a grey. I'm going to kind of do this almost like a pencil kind of style. I'm going to do a bit rough, so you can see what I'm on about. And now with the shading, I recommend an up and down motion when you're using like markers. And now you're coming off the black, you don't want to flick it out like this. It makes it really uneven to blend. Just follow the shape around and just keep working that exact same shape across the edge until you manage to blend it out. It's a real simple technique with markers. So I'm just going over all that black, just across the edges of the black for the grey to blend it out. If you're using pencil, you just kind of fade. Using water paints, you just use the water to fade it out. Simple like that. So there's not too much shading. And that you can do more, you can go crazy, you can do like really dark bits and that. As long as you've got some true black in there, it looks good. You don't have to do loads, but just make sure you definitely do put at least a little bit for this old school style. Just going to colour her hair in black. You ain't got to colour in bold, you can leave little white highlights if you want. But for this sort of style, I'm going to go pretty bold and just leave little lines. just shove gaps up where she's got a hand in the hair and stuff. Just kind of like that. Bring your hair in a little bit more, I think. Yeah, that looks good. You can get yourself like a nice skin tone, but first you may want to get yourself a rubber and just rub out the pencil work for now. Once you've got the pen line working there's no reason for that pencil really to be there, unless you're going for a pencil sketch. Just give yourself a little bit of a flesh tone. I'm literally just going to cut up just around these edges. And just fade out as you go towards the centre for the arms. Nothing too much. Now, you can go darker with these colours if you want. You know, you don't have to go for such a light skin tone. Like on the other one I've done, I think I went for a bit darker. What was it? Yeah. See there, just a little bit darker around the edges, and that, it can be either way. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same colour. When you're doing areas like around the stomach, you can flick inwards to really show the curve of the belly. Like there, just kind of flicking inwards. And remember, this is old school, not realistic, so you don't have to shade realistically. Like I'm literally just, if there's like a shape, I'm trying to show off a bit of that shape. Around here, across the forehead, just a little bit above this eye, touching that nose, around that chin. Now I'm going to put a bit of red in the cheeks. I think I'll probably use a pencil for this, so I'm going to get a little bit of blushy kind of look. You can use as much or as little as this. You know, it was quite classic back then to have the red in the cheeks. Like a nice peachy colour. If you struggle blending out sometimes, I reckon it'd be a bit of a tough one to blend out to a fade normally. So if you just put it in and just go over, well, put it in with a pencil and then just go over your marker, sometimes that just does the trick. Again, just around the edges. You know, you can really fade it out or keep it as bold as you want, you know. The old Sailor ones really varied, you know, sometimes it was like a really bold solid colour rather than a fade. So play around with different techniques, like, you know, different fade outs. Simple. Just grab some red. These pants I'm going to put a bit of a black shade on, I think. They look a little bit too light to me. Obviously I'm brushing this bit so I can get this tutorial done for you guys and that, but don't feel like you need to go quick with these things, really just take your time. I'm being a little bit messy here, but you can throw in some other colours as well. You can use blues, greens, yellows, oranges. You know, I tend to like red. It's not traditionally the old sailor colour, but I tend to like it. I'm just going to black out this area here. Yeah, give the old little sailor cape. It's come off the back of the hood. Once you've done that, you can always put tattoos on her and stuff, like, you know, say like a little anchor on the arm or something. I'm just being real basic with this. And like, you know, you could add like a little ship on the leg or something. You don't necessarily got to add tattoos. I quite like my old fashioned pin-ups with just a couple of basic tattoos on them. It ain't got to be perfect, and I mean, because of, you know, the distance, you know, you just do it however you want it to look. It could be further up, further down. You know, I mean, I probably would have put that up a bit further, to be honest. But yeah, any way you like. A rose or something. You know, a few of them sometimes just add a bit of extra character to it. And then you just put dots or something in the background if you want. You can do a dot. Little stars. You know, those kind of feature in these old school pictures. Put dots around it. Yeah, there you have it. Basic old school pin up. Just one last thing I want to do, if I can find my glare. Just looks like a little bit grey on her hat, I think. Yeah. Now you can do them in sands, you can do them with clouds and stuff and other bits like that. You can change the body shape. Like, I'll quickly show you how to do the hand shape. So like in this one, the body shape's slightly different. You know, I didn't put the line on the heels. And that same sort of thing, just a few tattoos. The hat on this one's when you got it the other way a little bit. To that you just put an oval shape and a little kind of egg inside it. And just shade on the outside. It's really as simple as that. Now the hands, like you can see, you just curve up. You make it like a little really thin sausage just off the edge. Curve down a touch and just flick a little bit back. And then just do a little sausage off the edge for the thumb, curving the other way. And you can do a couple little lines just to show a couple more fingers if you want. You know, it's a real simple, classic old school hand. And that, but yeah, you've got different poses, you know, different colours. Like you see here, I used a bit more sort of a darker tone to the outside and blend it out a little bit more than I did on the other one. And that, you know, this one I had the bow kind of dangling down. And that the arm straight up. Different slightly face expression. But, you know, just keep it simple and really just work out, you know, how you can show the body shape with just a few lines. And I don't feel like you have to do too many, you know, like a good bit of practice, get like a Gilt Evgren pin-up or something, or an old school pin-up picture. Put a bit of tracing paper over the top and just really go around the outline and just make the outline as simple as possible. Like, you know, when you see the leg, you know, just think about how can I make a nice curve that can really show off how that leg looks. That body shape, when it curves in, how can I make that, how can I show that in just one simple line? You know, really break it down to the basics. You know, because that's the beauty of these old-fashioned pin-ups. You know, it just shows the features of the girl's body just in its most basic terms. And that, yeah, so I hope you like it. And now that's how to draw an old school pin-up and the Broken Puppet. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.